Hello everyone and welcome to Busbound. This is a city driving simulator from the creators of Bus Simulator 21. I've played it for a solid few hours and I'm ready to share my 2 cents about this game so far. We're going to review the demo version as it's still under development and hopefully will be released soon. It's set in a fictional city called Emberville and our job is to ensure that the people of Emberville get to their destinations safely. While we're doing so, we can also expand our network, add additional bus stops, unlock new buses, and of course new parts of the city. I consider myself a pretty well-versed individual when it comes down to driving simulators, having played hundreds of hours of Euro Truck Simulator 2, The Bus, BeamNG Drive, Taxi Life, and the list goes on, you get the point. I know what good inputs should feel like, and what I personally consider game-breaking issues. Looking at you, Taxi Life. The demo lets you jump straight into it, with not a lot of unnecessary fluff. And I'm not sure if this approach will remain in the full release, but it was very much appreciated. I quickly jumped into the settings to set up my controller and was pleasantly surprised to see that the demo version already has full steering wheel support with presets available. I did change a few things here and there to my usual layout and moved on. One thing I did notice though is that the controls of the steering wheel, although solid and offer a wide variety of customizations, the forced feedback was pretty much non-existent during the tutorial part. The steering wheel felt very soft, as if the bus was made of feathers with no weight behind it. Later in game, after the tutorial section, the force feedback began to feel a bit more present, but it was pretty much touch and go. I hope this is a limited issue to the demo version and not something that will turn into a complaint when the full release is coming. Right from the start, you have a mix of tutorials, some in the form of screen overlays and others embedded into live gameplay. The game assumes you've never played a simulator before, or driven for that matter, so it does a great job explaining the basics, which to be honest even real drivers forget, such as indicating when changing lanes. The GPS functionality can be a little bit intrusive, with literal arrows on the road pointing you in the right direction, and it feels somewhat too in your face, in my opinion. Hopefully in the full game, they will include some proper GPS in the infotainment system of the bus, or at least just a simple map in the corner of the screen. Unlike games such as The Bus, which is still very much in early access, Busbound has a different gratification system. You don't sell tickets and you're not expected to collect money from your passengers. You don't have to fiddle with that little device selecting the correct method of payment. In fact, the ride is free. Emberville clearly lives in the future. Instead, passengers will give you a rating shown by a thumbs up icon based on how good your driving is. And speaking of thumbs up, if you're enjoying the video so far, please make sure to give that like button a gentle pat. It does help the channel out a bunch. Coming back to these arrows, they do have a nice functionality which I haven't seen implemented this way before. When approaching a traffic light, if the lights change, the color of the arrows will reflect that, giving you a small visual cue that you may need to brake or move. It reminded me of the guide arrows sometimes used in racing games, which help you determine if your speed is too high or too low before entering a turn. It's a lovely feature that makes the experience a little bit more appealing. The rating system has a variety of criteria: how well you stop the bus in the alcove, how close you are to the curb, whether you follow the speed limit, how often you use the horn, and even how softly you go over speed bumps. All these elements determine if you get a thumbs up or not. You'll also hear praise from passengers when doing something right, which is lovely.
Very smooth driving.
And complaints, of course, when you're breaking the law or reducing their overall comfort.
Was really quite rude.
Whoa, that was bumpy.
Now, a funny thing happened at some of the traffic lights. I was waiting in line and decided to put my parking brake on just to allow myself to take the foot off the brake pedal and rest for a bit. And that triggered a strange reaction from the AI traffic. At first I thought this was a bug, since this is a demo version after all, but later at another stop the same thing happened again. And if my common sense doesn't betray me, I'd say that because the parking brake action is mandatory for a bus stop, because you need to put on the parking brake first and then open the doors, let the passengers out and then others in. It seems that applying it in normal traffic makes the cars behind assume you're stopping for passengers, which in turn makes them want to go around you, but they don't have any filter, so they cross double yellow lines and sometimes even cause accidents. I learned my lesson and stopped doing this later on, but it was still funny to see. After completing the first section of the tutorial and getting used to the bus stops and actions you need to take as a driver, the game takes you to the office. This is where the game kind of opens up and lets you explore the different mechanics. Adding new bus lanes and changing the existing ones reminds me a lot of City Skylines. You literally have to click the bus stops in the preferred order, and that will automatically show you the suggested route. Sometimes the auto-created route can be a bit off, so you'll have to click and drag it into place. And when you're done, you can name it, assign a line ID, and choose a color. What I also appreciated about this UI is that it provides the exact time to complete the routes, so you don't have to guess, it's right there on the screen. The overall look and feel of the game is acceptable. It's not going to blow you away, but it doesn't feel outdated either. The bus models appear detailed and animated to a good standard, although not to the level of the bus. You cannot exit the bus or walk inside it, at least not in this demo, but from the available viewing angles, everything seems pretty solid. Assets such as roads, buildings, pillars and markings are where this game I think shines a bit brighter. The roads in particular look realistic, with puddles forming from rain and worn markings that mimic real-life conditions. Buildings have good colors, shading and textures, but the other vehicles in traffic are modest at best. They don't stand out, but they also don't feel out of place. Some look better than others, but overall, like I said, it's acceptable. There are no damage models, so bumping into other vehicles won't visually damage the bus or the car itself, but it will upset your passengers for sure. Unlike the bus, where a similar thing happens, no damage models, Busbound actually makes you feel the penalty for poor driving through the passenger rating system. Without their appreciation, you'll have a tough time progressing and unlocking new bus stops or parts of the map. When it comes down to weather, the weather effects are limited to either full sunshine or rain. There's no storms, fog or thunder, and when it rains, the sky becomes cloudier and the overall lighting adjusts nicely in a way that feels natural, and you can choose not to use your windshield wipers if you want to, but if you do, the effect is a bit abrupt, going from clear glass to full rain pretty instantly rather than gradually. It's something that could be improved before the final release. Although the game mentions early on that you need to watch for pedestrians when making a turn, during my session I didn't encounter a single moment where that applied. I kept checking crosswalks, but there were no pedestrians crossing, only a few walking along the sidewalks occasionally. In terms of customization, Busbound allows you to choose a wide variety of colors for your buses, along with different surface finishes. If you feel more creative, you can even add stripes or patterns to give your bus a bit more personality. In the demo version, you're limited to just 2 buses, but in the full release, there will be 17 buses in total with different classes, sizes and engines. This will definitely make route planning more strategic, as fitting a long 60-foot bus through narrow streets could be a bit of a challenge on its own. Overall, the demo version of Busbound was definitely a fun experience and provides a different take on bus simulators. I'm confident the developers are not aiming for extreme realism, like The Bus, which replicates the map of Berlin, for example. But instead, they want to offer a more casual and accessible simulator where you can enjoy the driving experience without overcomplication. It lets you be as creative as you want, changing and adding bus stops, creating new routes and experimenting with different setups, and this gives the game virtually endless possibilities, helping you keep it engaging and fresh every time you play. Being a demo version, things may still change before release, but if I were to draw a conclusion, I'd say that Busbound is staying on my wishlist, and I'll definitely give it another try once it launches. Let's just hope the price will also be appropriate. If you enjoyed this video and helped you in any way, please give that like button a kiss and maybe subscribe to the channel for more content like this. #bars. Thanks again for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one.